Hi, in this video I'm going to explain to you the very basics of how to improvise a groove on the bass guitar. And this is not just for bass guitar, you know, this is a fundamental for all instruments. Now, yeah, just the fundamental of how to improvise a groove, okay? Now, the focus is going to be on bass, which we have to keep in mind that a bass is also like a percussion instrument. So that means that the bass is also responsible not just for melodic content like notes, but very responsible for the rhythmic, like keeping the rhythmic structure in place in the music. So that's the function of the bass. So sometimes you can play a guitar like a bass, or you can play a sitar like a bass, or an oud like a bass, but keep in mind the bass's primary function is to, well, there are two primary functions. One is to keep a clear structure of, like, the bass player should give you that confidence in knowing where the structure is in the cycle. If you're playing in 4/4, like, okay, drums are the most obvious example. Where you go kum, k, kum, kum, k. 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2. So the basic drum beat, I mean, that's a rock drum beat. You could do anything. So drums is purely rhythmic. Okay, now bass is sort of halfway between. So bass has half of the function of the bass is to keep that place. Which basically means, just to sum it up, basically means, like, if you have a 4/4, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, 2, 3, 4, boom. You see? 3, 4, boom, 2, 3, 4, boom, 2, 3, 4, boom. So there you go. That's the whole lesson right there. If you want to do the most simple bass groove, you've got it right there. So I won't jump ahead. Let me tell you what the second element is. So the first element is keeping the place. So whoever else is playing with you, they need to feel where is the 1. Okay? Okay, different types of Latin music that you never play right on the 1. I mean, okay, music is huge. Music is an ocean. So we can talk about all different kinds of musics, and there will always be anomalies and exceptions to whatever I say now. But basically, this is like a rock or a groove. Okay. Now we can alter that and apply the same principles to every kind of music. So again, the first principle is, as a bass player, you need to show everybody else where is 1. Okay? The second job of the bass player, and we're talking about the very basics, the second job is to show the other musicians what is the tonic note. Okay, now that word might be unfamiliar to some of you. Tonic means what is the lowest note which is in the key that you are playing in. Okay, that might be another word that you don't know. What key are you playing in? Okay, now maybe these concepts need, probably for beginners, these concepts of key and tonic probably need completely other videos, okay? But basically, if you kind of know what that means already, what is the key? Like every song is in a key, which means that there is a lowest fundamental note, which when you play that note, that one note, it feels like the home note. It's the root note. That's another key, tonic, root, bass note. You know, like what is the lowest note? Okay, so just to give you an example, if I would, you know, like every time you hit that bottom note, you feel like you're at home. Okay, so it's the home bass. It's the most fundamental, lowest home bass note. Okay, and in this case it would be E. Now don't get confused if you're actually copying this or something like that, because I've tuned this whole bass down a whole tone. So this will actually come out like, this is actually a D note on the piano. But let's call it an E because that's usually where this thickest string is. It's an E, a bottom E, okay? So even though it's technically a D that I've tuned to, this is in the key of E, okay? Bum, bum, bum. Yes, once you are in the key of a certain key, then there are different chords, and sometimes it shifts to different chords, and the E won't always be what you want to play, okay? But generally, the song, when it's in the key, a particular key, will always end. It will end on that note, and for the most part, that's the lowest common note. Okay, so that's what the key is. This is in the key of E, and that's the tonic note, which is the root note, which is the one note. So these are the two functions, the two primary functions that you have as a bass player. One is to show everybody else where is the one beat in the rhythmic cycle, okay, the rhythmic responsibility you have as a bass player. The second is that, then this is not something that the drummer does not have this responsibility. The bass player is like half rhythmic, half melodic instrument, because the bass player is also responsible for showing what is the tonic note, what is the root note. So that's why I said that if you have a 4/4 beat, if you want to do the most basic groove, so if you're a total beginner and somebody says, we're going to do a jam in the key of E in 4/4, then I'll show you right now how you do it. And nobody will really complain. Okay? So what would be the beat? The beat is like a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what do? You have to show the 1 and you have to show the tonic note. And I told you what it is. It's an E. So you play the 1, you play a bottom E, a low E on the 1. So you go to 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ga, 1, ga, 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 ga. Other instruments can improvise on this, and they can feel what is the tonic, and they feel what is the rhythmic cycle. So I'll just sing some improvised lines there. You play like that, everyone will be happy. Okay, so that's the end of the first lesson, but let's go a little further. Okay, so that should be enough right there. But let's go a little further and let's say that we're gonna, because it's not just the key of E. Okay, it's in the key of E, but is it minor? Is it major? What scale? What are the other notes involved that the other musicians are playing, and you must also play as a bass player? So, you know, to make your lines, make your grooves a little more interesting. I mean, that's not really much of a groove, really. It's just a note, right? So, how are you going to make an actual groove? Okay, then you need to know, you need to have a few other notes, I guess. You know, you don't have to, but a few other notes would be helpful. So let's talk about the minor E, like the minor pentatonic. Pentatonic means 5 notes, so that's a 5-note scale. Now, most rock music and African music and a lot of music around the world is simply based on the minor pentatonic. So you can go a long way, a very, very long way, with just knowing how to make a nice groove in 4/4 using the minor pentatonic. Okay? Now, we're going to stick with this one key. I don't want to confuse you. In future videos, I'll talk about what other keys are. For example, B. And there are patterns that you can play. That would be B. C would be here. 1 fret higher. D. Okay, so these are all different keys. To now show you that everything is not just in the key of E. Okay. But we're going to stick to the key of E right now. Now, the minor pentatonic. Okay. So you can play the minor pentatonic all over the neck, okay? And when you say the minor pentatonic, you can also go a little bit outside of it, you know, to add notes which are not exactly in the scale, but for now, don't do it, okay? For now, I'm just going to give you 6 notes. And I want you just to stay with only those 6 notes in exactly those positions. Don't go outside of it. Memorize these notes and stick with them. Okay, so what you have is the first note. I'm plucking the lowest string there. Okay. Now the second note would be on the same string. Okay, the low E string, but the 3rd fret. Okay? Now, that would be called the minor 3rd. Okay, so we'll just call it the 3rd or the 3. Okay? So the first note would call the 1, which is the tonic or the root, the 1. Second note is the 3. Okay, so you can just play those 2 notes for a while. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. Okay, now the next note So you play the 3 note with your first finger. Now the next note is 2 frets higher, so it'll be the 5th fret. Again, the 3 note is on the 3rd fret of the bottom E string. The next note, you just shift your whole hand there, okay? With the first finger, again first finger, but shift your hand to the 5th fret. And that's the 4 note, okay? So you have like 1, 3, 4. Now, if you're actually, let me backtrack. If you're just going to make a groove with just those notes, okay, those 3 notes, you would stay in that one position and you would play the 3rd fret note with your 3rd finger and then the 5th fret note with your 3rd finger or the 2nd finger if you prefer that, okay? So then, and there are so many grooves like that. In fact, you can just do so much with just those 3 notes. There's millions of grooves just on those notes. But you notice what's common with all of those grooves is that the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm always hitting a low tonic note on the 1 of the cycle, okay? And the other notes are just sort of coloration. Okay, so let's move forward here. So if you're going to just play those, and that's adequate. Again, we should stop the video right here because that's the second lesson. Just those 3 notes. 1, 3, 4, 3, 1. Okay, you can do tons with just those 3 notes. Now, let's say you want to move up to the other, the rest of the 6 notes I'm going to give you. Okay, so then you'd have a shift, a 1 position. Just shift your position 1 time, and then shift back when you want to play the 3rd note. So there's a position shift from there to there, which is your first finger on the 3rd fret is the 1st position, and your first finger on the 5th fret is the 2nd position. Okay, so the first note is 1. Next note is 3. Next note, shift your whole hand, keep playing with your first finger up to the 5th fret. Okay, that's the 4 note. Then 2 more frets higher on the same string, the E string, played with either your 2nd finger or your 3rd finger, depending on what you're used to. Okay, there's the 4th note, and that's actually the 5 note. Okay, so if we just play these 4 notes, you have. Play that for a long time. Okay? So we've given you 4 notes. Now what are the last 2 notes? Okay, so the first 4 notes is the 1, 3, 4, 5. Now, very simple. Jump up 1 string and go back to the 5th fret with your first finger. Okay, so you've gone from the bottom E string up to the A string. Now you're playing with your first finger. Okay, that's a 7, flat 7. Okay? And then 2 frets higher on the same string. That would be the 8, or you're actually back, because it's an octave. Octave means 8. 8 goes back to the 1. Okay? So you could call it an 8 or a 1. It's actually an octave. Okay, so if you notice, these last 4 notes are on the E string. Do, 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 do. 5th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret. 5th fret, 7th fret on the bottom E string. 5th fret, 7th fret on the A string. Okay, so that gives you all 6 notes, and for now, I want you to just stay with those notes. And of course, you know, later you're gonna go, you know, just to give you, just to show you, you know, like the pentatonic is not only those notes. So there's lots you can do with it, but for now, let's just stick with those basic notes. So let's just repeat those notes, okay? So 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 1, 1, 7, 5, 4, 3, 1, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 1, 1, 7, 5, 4, 3, 1, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 1, 1, 7, 5, 4, 3, 1. Okay, so we're almost finished. Now let's just, once you got those notes firmly in your head, okay, memorize those notes and memorize the names of them. 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 1. 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 1. 1, 7, 5, 4, 3, 1. Memorize those names, memorize those positions, ingrain that, just ingrain that, and repeat and repeat and repeat that, okay, until that's totally ingrained. Those are the notes that you have to deal with. Now you're going to be playing in a rhythmic groove, a rhythmic structure. So let's just assume that you're dealing with 4/4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the most basic way is, as I said, you have to show what is the tonic note, and you also have to show what is the 1 note. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that every time 1 comes around in the cycle, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That doesn't mean that every single 1 you have to show, okay? And it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to play the tonic every single time. But as a general rule, that will keep you safe if you show every 1 with a tonic. That will keep you safe, but it will get a bit boring. So what I'm going to get you to do now is, let's think about the 4/4 as a larger cycle within that, where it's like 4 times 4/4 would give you a larger cycle, because just 1, 2, 3, 4 is a bit short. So let's think in terms of like a longer cycle of 4 bars of 4/4. You're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. So in order to give the other players a little more space, a little more room to develop melodically and rhythmically, we've lengthened the feeling of this rhythmic cycle from just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You know, that's a bit short. So what you want to do there is show the 1, not every time, but keep it symmetrical. Okay, so let's show the 1 every 8 beats rather than every 4 beats, every 8 beats. Okay, so that'll look like something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, go, 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 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so practice that. If you have a metronome, that's great. Now what we're going to do is, and this will be the last, this will be all how far I'm going to take you in this lesson. You're going to play the first 8 beats just exactly like that. Now in the second 8 beats, you're going to play 1 extra note, and you're going to choose from one of these 6 notes. That's it. Okay, so let's try that. I'll randomly do that for you. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? So the first 8 beats is just a 1. That's all you're going to do. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all you got to do. Now we're on to the second 8 beats, which will be just like what you just played, except somewhere in the last 4 beats of it, like from the 5, 6, 7, 8, you'll just throw in 1 other note. Okay? So let me show you how you can do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, try a different note. Try a different note. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Second, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5. Sorry, those notes were not what I gave you as a mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Okay, I hope all of that was clear and I hope it helps. Thanks a lot for listening.